Hi, welcome to the Motion Picture Notion. I'm your host, Gabriel Burton. This is my wife, Caitlin. So we did another double feature. This time we watched The Omen 2. That was my idea. And we watched I'm Not There, that movie about Bob Dylan. I actually want to talk about that first, I think.
Okay.
All right.
That was the one I chose.
Yeah, I liked it. It was weird.
A mind-blowing movie. And I didn't realize that I had to stop it a bunch of times. I didn't realize how much you have to know about Bob Dylan to get some of the references in it. But now I want to know what you thought of it.
Well, the shit that happens to the different characters are based somewhat on shit that happened to Bob Dylan.
Some of it's events, some of it's public perception of him. So kind of, obviously he isn't Billy the Kid. He's not a little black boy. You know, he's literally speaking for himself. There's some like direct quotes. There's some actual things that happened, like when he became a born-again Christian.
That was rough.
It was uncomfortable. I think he did start calling himself
and
by another name.
Christian Bale and that fro.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
It's a weird thing that maybe he did have such a bad, he's never had good hair.
Oh, no. I'm sure that it was, like, accurate. I'm just saying that, like, seeing Patrick Bateman that way kind of upset me a little.
Oh, he just seems so like him.
Plus, there was a decent amount of him in the beginning, Christian Bale's part, but not so much in the second half. He came back to do the religious thing, which was weird, and then that was it.
I think that was a brief period in Bob Dylan's life.
Cate Blanchett was the best.
Do you think she was the best one?
Oh yeah, hands down, hands the hell down. Like,
which one is your favorite character though? Which one of the guys?
Probably the Billy the Kid version of the older, because he's finally humbled. He's older. Yeah, he's older. He realizes he's been an asshole.
Which never happened.
And, like, you saw Cloud Atlas, right?
No.
No?
No.
You should watch Cloud Atlas. It's kind of the same vibe. It's it makes a little bit more sense than Cloud Atlas, but you can interpret it in many different ways the same way, and it takes place like kind of generationally, but it's all connected somehow. We should watch that. That's a possibility for a future movie. It's like fucking 3 hours though.
So I like this because it doesn't lionize him. I wouldn't have watched a movie that was like kind of like a Ray deal, where it was kind of fawning, or like Selena from our previous video, but he's a difficult person. Like, how many years? Like 3 years ago or so, he was named the Nobel, the Poet Laureate in the United States. That just means you're the American poet that year. I think it's like a yearly thing. And he was a dick through the whole process. I'm not sure if they ever actually ended up giving it to him. But we also, my mother and I went to see him, and we left within the second song, in the middle of the second song, because he just does that, like moaning.
Did you say that the security guy even said something like when you were leaving?
The cops on the way out were like, "You couldn't take it anymore?" And we're like, "No, we really could not." And we thought we were looking at him, and he was like kind of hiding. He wasn't playing the guitar on the front. And I know he's an older gentleman. You know, I don't begrudge him sitting down on a piano, but my God, like, face the audience. One of my favorite characters is the British journalist who...
Captain Pike from Star Trek.
I mean, like, at this point, it feels like for me, he's pointing out that to some degree the Emperor has no clothes. He's a beautiful songwriter. I mean, it frustrates me because I listen to the music in the movie, and that's part of why I love it, because the music is so good, and it's all his. Some of it's covers, some of it's him, but it's just such good stuff. It's so well written. It's so beautiful. But he's still, he's still very difficult.
I think Bob Dylan just left a bad taste in my mouth because The Days to Remember was our prom song. And I was like, yeah, right? So stupid and basic. I was like, how about like Here's to the Night by Eve 6 or something from our actual generation?
That's just as bad.
Well, it's from our generation at least. No, I liked it. It was kind of like an existential experience, that movie. And it was, again, I mean, Cate Blanchett just like knocked it out of the park, man. I mean, like, she was the best part. But
how do you go away feeling about Bob Dylan now?
Kind of a pretentious prick.
Yeah, is it pretentious? Because I don't think it's pretentious.
Based on the movie, I don't know about
down
Dylan,
with like getting a Nobel, or I keep calling it a Nobel. It's just a poet laureate. in the United States. If he was pretentious, he would value something, but he doesn't appear to value anything other than his own writing. I think he's just a supreme narcissist. He's just such a dick. But then just a beautiful songwriter.
Beautiful dick.
An interview with Jacob Dylan, and he seems like a nice, well-adjusted person. So maybe one-on-one, he's like a decent father. I don't know.
Could just be a persona.
I think that's a very well
yeah, you're right.
protected persona, if that's the case. He's so excited. He doesn't want to talk about this anymore. He wants to talk about the Omen.
I do want to talk about the Omen.
All right.
It is time. You're going to refer to your notes a lot more than I did.
Yeah, because I wrote more. Can we please... This is what I wrote.
Excuse me. I wrote this, okay?
2
You be the
pages,
judge.
half a page.
But there was more meaning in my notes.
No, there wasn't.
Yeah,
it
there
says,
was.
I read you back the notes, and you had forgotten what most of them meant. But mine are really... They're not great. I feel like you could cut them in half. Like, for instance, at the beginning, there was a scene at the cafe. I wanted to know what is served at that cafe. So...
Espressi.
Very...
No, they were in frickin'...
Yeah, they were in, like,
They were in, like,
Egypt or
Jerusalem or some shit. I don't know.
Cradle of
Somewhere
civilization.
not here. Like, I like the Omen, too. I think that I mean, it's not as good as the first one.
We know you like it.
It does have kind of like a formula. Like, where it's sort of like, somebody finds something out. They gotta go. Devil's gonna kill them. And then somebody else finds out something else, and then they gotta go. The devil's gonna kill them. But it's not that simple. It is a little bit more nuance. Like
I thought it was that simple. You described the movie exactly how I watched it, and I tried, man, because I liked the Omen. I thought it was okay. So this is important to note for people who only like or like prefer horror movies. If you don't prefer them, stuff like the Omen or like The Shining is referenced so much in pop culture that you know the whole plot.
But not the Omen 2?
No, I'm not done. You missing your drink?
Yeah, where'd it go?
I don't know.
Oh, son of a bitch, it's all the way, whatever. Go ahead, no, go ahead.
Get it, because I'll talk about how terrible the movie is.
Good movie.
No, it's not. It's, so, the Omen, it's sort of like entertaining. It almost has like, if you watch it from that perspective, having seen all these, or, kind of references to it, the first one, it's almost a little campy, but it's still just as like, kind of demonic and fun.
The only thing campy...
I'm not done. This one is just depressing, and it to me, it's not interesting enough. I didn't care about it. It was depressing. It was just sad.
The first one wasn't a bummer for you?
No, because if it is...
Everybody dies.
No, I know, but if it is referenced in pop culture that much, it takes the seriousness out of it. So the first time I witnessed this movie, I knew exactly what happened. There was no surprise, and it was sort of like, look, it's the thing. I've seen that. The lady jumping out the window. I know that. You know what I mean?
But that's like one thing, man. Like, what about when they like...
The thing going through that guy, I've seen that on something else.
No, but what about like when Mr. Thorne and the reporter Jennings are like they move over the gravestone and they find like the infant skeleton with its head bashed in.
I don't know, Gregory Peck. Gregory Peck is sort of like, look at he's right there. Gregory Peck. It's what's his name?
The baboons attacking the car, really attacking the car because they tranquilized the alpha and they put it in the back seat.
But the guy getting his head cut off was sort of like.
Dude, that scared the shit. Well, then again, when I first saw it, I was like 12, so that scared the shit out of me. But the way that was filmed was interesting because usually something like that happens and only lasts a certain amount of time. But the director, Richard Donner, I think? Wait, was it Richard Donner? Whatever, it doesn't matter. The director made the head like spin on the glass for like 5 whole seconds, and he did it deliberately because he figured that people in the theaters were going to cover their eyes and expect it to be over, but then they'd look and they still see the head fucking spinning, which I think is great.
Didn't like it.
That's
basically it. It just was. I tried and it was boring, and some of the outfit choices were stupid, and I didn't get it.
It was the 70s.
No, the 70s have a lot to. Excuse me, that's a terrible excuse.
There's freaking disco and shit.
Oh no, beautiful styles.
Ugh.
Can we discuss how I picked up on the fact that the lady in it was the whore of Babylon?
Yes, and people watching this video who've seen the Omen 2 are probably but I've seen this movie a million times. I never put that together.
She's the whore of Babylon.
But she was definitely, really, she was definitely the whore of Babylon.
She gets lit on fire per the Bible, the biblical prophecy.
The movie got shit on. Like,
what did they say? What were the reviews? Were they, this is the same bullshit over and over again?
Well, kind of, but that it was like derivative, and I mean it was a little bit more derivative than the first one. To be fair, there's a lot more death, and like I said, it did kind of follow that pattern. But I thought that the deaths were good. The elevator
It was like
scene,
a movie made
the
out of a
elevator scene
montage.
was fucking scary, and also not for nothing, but like I thought that it did evolve the story. Like it has the same type of bleak ending, but it's like you get to actually see Damien Thorne as a character. And you get to see like the inner workings at like Thorne Industries.
Lots of corporate talk.
Yeah.
Nothing more thrilling.
No, but dude, like that was all important.
I know, but it
you
also
see
feels
how
too
like
real.
his rise to power. It's like there's shit that's planned out so that he will just inherit this.
I know, but I just
you know?
feel like so he's Satan in this situation, but
He's the devil's son.
other than that, you know, he's basically the son of a fucking, or the owner of a major corporation. It's this shit's happening all the time. That's the other thing. I don't want to watch it. I know corporations are terrible. I don't need to have this reinforced by this movie with the devil in it. You don't need the devil.
But they said, to be fair, they even said in the first Omen, from the eternal sea he rises, and the reporter Jennings interpreted that as the eternal sea being the world of politics. The devil's son will rise in the world of politics. But it follows the theme and evolves it.
It was super boring.
Oh.
Well, usually I'm terrified.
Well, you weren't terrified of the original Omen.
No, because there's so many cultural references in it that it wasn't surprising. Yeah, it had a little, like, it was as scary as, like, Rosemary's Baby. It was, like, which is...
That is a boring-ass movie.
Contemplative.
It's boring. I love you.
I don't know. I feel like we should reshoot it.
All right, guys. That's all she wrote.
Oops.